Hi, my name is Mike Hubbard, and I want to tell you how Jesus changed my life. I grew up in a home where my parents took me to church from the youngest age. They were really active in the church, and like most kids who grew up in church like I did, my parents figured that if they had me in church a lot, it would keep me out of trouble. But I learned how to get in a lot of trouble at church, and I had a good time at church, but and heard all the Bible stories and heard all the things that when I was growing up. But when I was 7 years old, my parents took me to a revival service. Our church had this thing a couple times a year where you would go to church every night for the whole week. And for a kid, that was a bad thing. It was not fun to hear that you were going to have to go sit on those hard wooden pews and be bored for like an hour and a half every night during the week. Um, but this one time during this service, as I was sitting there, I don't remember what the pastor preached on. I don't remember what he said, but I do know this. Something happened inside me. It's like the lights went on. And the stories that I heard growing up and like Sunday school classes and things like that all of a sudden made sense. And I realized that night that I personally had sinned and that I was a sinner in need of grace. I understood what it meant that Jesus had died on the cross for me and that he had risen from the grave. And I understood that I needed to turn from myself and trust in Jesus. So that night I went back to my parents' house, and in that little kitchen, I can still picture it in my head, that little kitchen sitting on a stool in the house that I grew up in. My dad walked me through what it meant to trust in Jesus. And I prayed something that went like this. I said, Jesus, I know I'm a sinner. I know I need forgiveness, but you died on the cross and rose again. And today I trust you with my life. And I can tell you that I was only 7. I was a really young kid, but at that point in time, in a 7-year-old way, I gave all of me to all of Christ, and Christ gave all of Himself to all of me, and it was a life changing experience. Now, since then, I've lived a lot of years, and I went through some doubt phase when I was in college. Really not sure that I believed what I'd grown up believing, and I've been through a lot of other difficulties, some of them for my own failures and some of them just because life is hard. But here's what I can tell you is that over the years I have found that Christ is true, that what He did in my life was beautiful and rich, and that He is so worth it. And so I know that Jesus has truly changed my life, and He makes a difference every day, and I'm so thankful that I have a relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ. And I want that for you more than anything. And so if you've never had an experience like this, if you've never come to a point where you realize what Jesus did for you, and you realized that He will forgive you of your sin, and that He will give you hope and give you a future and give you the promise of eternity, I just want to tell you that even today you can pause and you can trust in Jesus. So thanks for giving me a couple minutes. That was my story, how Jesus changed my life. And if you'd like to talk to me or learn more about me, I'd love to hear from you. God bless.